Good day, grade 9 students. The topic for this day is about solving quadratic equation by extracting square root. At the end of this video, you must be able to solve quadratic equations by extracting square roots. Before you solve quadratic equations by extracting square roots, let us review first the concept of perfect squares and how to simplify radicals, especially square roots. What is a perfect square? A perfect square is a number that is obtained by multiplying an integer by itself. Let us have the table of squares from 1 to 25. 1 squared is equal to 1, meaning 1 times 1 is equal to 1. 2 squared is equal to 4. It means 2 times 2 is equal to 4. 3 squared is equal to 9. It means 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 4 squared is equal to 16, meaning 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And 5 squared is equal to 25, meaning 5 times 5 is equal to 25. Let us have the other way around. 6 squared is equal to 36, meaning the square root of 36 is 6. The square root of 49 is 7 because 7 squared is equal to 49. The square root of 64 is 8 because 8 times 8 is equal to 64. The square root of 81 is 9 and the square root of 100 is 10. If we are dealing with integers, we can also say that the square root of 36 is equal to positive 6 and negative 6. The square root of 121 is positive 11 and negative 11. The square root of 144 is positive 12 and negative 12. And the square root of 169 is 13 and negative 13. Every quadratic equation in one variable has exactly two solutions or roots. Quadratic equations of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 are called complete quadratic equations. So kapag ang isang quadratic equation ay nakakompleto at meron siyang values ng a, b at c, ibig sabihin siya ay complete quadratic equation. Kapag naman hindi, halimbawa wala siyang bx, meron lamang siyang ax squared plus c equals 0. O kaya naman wala siyang c, ax squared plus bx equals 0. Ang tawag sa kanila ay incomplete quadratic equations. An incomplete quadratic equation of the form ax squared plus z equals 0 can be solved using the square root property. Ibig sabihin, kapag ang ating gagamitin ay square root property, ang form niya lamang dapat ay ax squared plus c equals 0. Kung wala siyang bx, pwedeng gamitin ang square root property. Ano nga ba ang square root property? If a and c are complex numbers and if x squared is equal to c, then x is equal to the square root of c or x is equal to negative square root of c. Let us have our first example. We have x squared is equal to 225. For the first step, you have to make sure that the equation is written to the form ax squared is equal to c. And then, from that, kapag sigurado na tayo na ang ating equation ay nasa format na ng ax squared is equal to c, we will proceed to the next step, which is getting the square root of both sides of the equation. So, x squared is equal to 225. Kunin natin ang square root ng bawat side ng equation. Square root of x squared and square root of 225. The square root of x squared is x, while the square root of 225 will be positive negative 15. Therefore, the values of x are 15 and our second value of x is negative 15. For our next example, we have x squared minus 121 is equal to 0. So we have to write this in the form ax squared is equal to c. So we have to move negative 121 to the other side of the equation. So we have x squared is equal to 121. From negative 121, it became positive 121. And then get the square root of both sides. The square root of x squared is x, while the square root of 121 is positive negative 11. Therefore, the first value of x is 11, and the second value is negative 11. Our next example is 2x squared minus 18 is equal to 0. So we have to write this in the form ax squared is equal to c. So negative 18 will be moved to the other side of the equation and it will become a positive 18. So our working equation is 2x squared is equal to positive 18. Now, the value of a is 2. So we have to divide both sides of the equation by 2. 2x squared divided by 2 will lead us to x squared. And then 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now we have x squared is equal to 9. We may now get the square root of both sides of the equation. The square root of x squared is x, while the square root of 9 is positive negative 3. Therefore, the values of x are 3 and negative 3. Let us have our next example. X plus 2 squared minus 16 is equal to 0. As you can see, we have a different case here. Please take note of the steps. First one, move negative 16 to the other side of the equation, giving us x plus 2 squared is equal to positive 16. And then, from that, get the square root of both sides of the equation to eliminate this exponent 2. We can eliminate the exponent 2 by getting the square root of both sides. So we only have here x plus 2 is equal to, what's the square root of 16? Positive negative 4. So let me explain. Nawala yung exponent 2 kasi nag-square root tayo. Diba ang kabaliktaran ng squared ay square root. So nung nag-square root tayo, nawala yung squared. So ang natira na lamang ay x plus 2 is equal to plus minus 4 or positive negative 4, which leads us to two cases. Let us focus on the first one. X plus 2 is equal to 4 and x plus 2 is equal to negative 4. Dito muna tayo sa x plus 2 is equal to 4. So we have here x is equal to 4. Moving positive 2 to the other side, it will become negative 2. So our first value of x is 4 minus 2, which is 2. For the other side of the equation, we have x is equal to negative 4. This one will be transferred to the other side, which leads us to negative 2. So we have x is equal to negative 4 minus 2. So we have x, our second value of x is negative 6. So the values of our x are 2 and negative 6. For our next example, we have 4 times x plus 1 squared is equal to 256. The first thing that you have to do is to divide both sides of the equation by 4. 4 times x plus 1 squared divided by 4 will give us x plus 1 squared, which is equal to the quotient of 256 and 4, and that is 16. Now, let's proceed to our next step. We will get the square root of both sides to eliminate the exponent 2 on the left side of the equation. So the square root of x plus 1 squared is x plus 1, which is equal to square root of 16, and that is positive negative 4. Now, we have again two cases. The first one is x plus 1 is equal to positive 4, and x plus 1 is equal to negative 4. For x plus 1 is equal to 4, we will move positive 1 to the other side of the equation to simplify this. And then we have x is equal to 4 minus 1. From positive 1, it became negative 1. So we have x is equal to 4 minus 1, and that is 3. For the x plus 1 is equal to negative 4, we have x is equal to negative 4. Positive 1 will be moved to the other side of the equation. It will be negative 1. So you have there x is equal to negative 4 minus 1, and that is negative 5. So the values of x are 3 and negative 5. Let us solve this problem. The area of a square is 169 square meters. What is the length of the side of the square? This is our illustration of the problem. S refers to the length of the side of the square. And we all know na ang side ng square ay equal sa isa't isa. Pare-parehas ang kanilang length. And for the area, we have S squared for our formula. Area is equal to S squared. So based on the problem, the area of the square is 169 square meters, meaning the S squared is equal to 169. As you can see, this is a quadratic equation which can be solved by extracting the square root. So the first step, get the square root of both sides. The square root of S squared is S. The square root of 169 is positive negative 13. Based on the problem, we are looking for the length, and a value of a length should always be a positive number. So meaning, the side of the square, or the length of the side of the square, is positive 13. So meaning, each side of the square has 13 meters. Thank you for watching this video. For questions and clarifications, you may ask them during the Zoom meeting, or you may send them under the class group chat. Good luck and God bless you all.